Good morning, everyone. Welcome today with this live session, or if you're watching on YouTube or the recording on school. I'm glad you're all here. And let's dive into it. Today, we're talking about the differences between body rest and mind rest. So, what kind of rest do you need right now? Do you need body rest? Do you need mind rest? Or do you need both? Sometimes these two need different things, and we often mix them up. So sometimes you're tired, your mind is tired from a day full of work, um, a computer job, an administration job, and you come home and you start watching TV. Now, even though watching TV is resting, that might not be a fit for your mind to be able to rest. So, yeah, watching TV is more of a body rest, but not mind rest. What is body rest? It's when you're more sitting still or doing slow movements or have some sensory stuff like even if you're just holding a pen and you're just flicking it around, it's a way to rest your body. But um it's a way body rest is a way to calm your nervous system. And yeah, that's my cat here. So part of my body rest is petting my cat. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy. The difference is when you're resting your body, you don't necessarily rest your mind. Your thoughts cannot be processed. You can distract your mind easily um, by just watching TV, and your nervous system will stay in a slight alert. Your body is still consuming information if you're watching TV or you're scrolling your phone. So your mind keeps being busy, but your body is not. Why do we have such issues with resting our minds? They barely get any rest anymore these days because there is constant input. Screens like your phone, computer, notification, expectations from our environment. There's always noise or pressure. So when we're trying to rest, what happens now is that a lot of thoughts that you don't want to have or that you've been avoiding or you've been too distracted for, they pop up in your brain. Or your emotions, if you've had several frustrating moments during the day at work, but you had to stay busy because you're not allowed to show that frustration towards your boss. Um, when you start watching TV, you won't feel it. But as soon as you take some conscious time to rest your mind, these thoughts will pop up. So you might think, hey, I need distraction from this because I don't like to feel this. I don't like to think this. Your brain can become flooded when you try to rest your mind. Um, and it makes you feel really discomfort because if you've been to a Christmas party and you had to act like someone you're actually not, or you had to push aside your thoughts or your opinions or your feelings, what happens when you come home and there's silence is it all flushes over. It's there, it's in your brain, and what you might want to do is you start watching TV or watching reels just to not feel the things that you've been putting off the whole day, to not think the things you've been putting off the whole day. But the problem is you're just pushing it into a dark corner of your brain, and it will not get processed if you don't take the rest and go through it. So what does that rest feel like when you are going to rest mentally? It basically is you're sitting still and you're letting your thoughts and your feelings just flow through your body, through your mind, just for a moment. Just let them flow. Um, Even if it hurts, even if there's a lot of discomfort, even if there are thoughts that makes you feel a certain way, just let it be. And you'll notice that if you accept those feelings and you let them be where they are, they slowly flow away and you'll be released from it. It won't come back in moments that you don't expect or that in moments that you don't want to. Um, so the scrolling, watching TV is just avoiding the emotions that your brain actually needs to process, and you don't give it a chance to process, so it will get stuck and eventually it will fester in your brain, making you feel depressed or constantly stressed, like chronic stress syndrome. Um, Even though you're not conscious anymore about what happened in the past. So the key line here is if your mind resists rest, it's usually because it's holding too much. So the real mind rest could look like sitting in silence for 2 minutes, even if it's just 2 minutes, and just let your thoughts and your emotions flow. Or writing thoughts down so your brain doesn't have to hold them. It really works well. So if you're stuck with certain thoughts that are bothering you for the whole day, just simply write them down. Keep a notebook or a journal. Um, Even though it might sound stupid, like, hey, I'm feeling this or that over a certain person and I can't get it out of my head, just simply write it down. You don't have to look back at what you read. Just write it down and throw it out. Um, you can put on music, some gentle music without words. Just go up and down on the music waves, like how I see it, or focus on your breathing. Doodle without a goal. Just have your mind blank or try to, and just doodle. Just let your hand do something without giving it control. What you could also do for a real mind rest is an emotion check in. Do it once a day or do it at the end of the evening, right before you go to bed, and ask yourself, what am I actually feeling? And that doesn't mean the feeling that you show off, because there's a difference between the feelings that you show and the deeper feelings that you have within. Oftentimes, when we're hurting, we show anger. So try to figure out what's under the anger, if it's confusion or if it's feeling hurt. Just wonder, what are you actually feeling? So mind rest doesn't mean empty. It doesn't mean that your mind is completely blank. It just means unburdened. Just let it flow. Let it be what it is, and just simply go through it in a calm way. So I have some reflection questions for you. You can put it in a journal or you can share it in chat later. Um, just think about it. So the first one is, what do you usually do when you say that you're resting? Oftentimes, when I say I'm resting, I'm watching TV, which is avoiding mind rest. or specifically avoiding thoughts and feelings I don't want to think or feel. Does it actually rest your mind or distract it? So, I repeat it once more. What do you usually do when you're resting? And is that actual mind rest or is that distracting your mind? And what thoughts show up when things get quiet, when you're alone, when there's no music, when there's no distractions? What thoughts come up? And just simply write them down. Just think about it. Um, Usually, when I'm sitting in quiet, what comes out is I feel like I'm useless. Even though I know I'm not, I do plenty enough during the day, but my thoughts are gonna race like, you should be doing something or you're useless. Um, that's a story for another time, though, to go deeper in that. And I'm sorry for my phone that keeps buzzing. um, what might your mind need in order to rest safely? So for some people need different things than others. For me, it's one way to quiet my mind is doing art without a plan, without a vision. Just let my hands do its thing without any thought. That's how my mind rests. And maybe it's time for you to figure out what your way is. So, I've made a creative activity for that and try to do that. It might help. So, if you have a blank paper, fold it in half or put a line down in the middle. And at one side, you write body rest, and at the other side, you write mind rest. Now, under the body rest, you write or draw things that physically relax you. So it could be a couch, it could be a bath, it could be walking or stretching or sleep. Under mind rest, write or draw things that mentally soothe you, like journaling, quiet music, breathing, art, prayer, meditation, nature. Those are all things that could relax your mind. Now, if you have done that, like I did, let me grab it. I did these. I don't know if you can see it. Well, I don't think so, but I'll put a picture under my um under my video so you can see it. Um so yeah, if you've done that, try to circle one thing on each half of your page. One thing for body rest, one thing for mind rest. Circle one that you're going to do this week. Even if it's just 1 to 3 minutes or 10 minutes, it doesn't matter. Just try to do one out of the things you put on your paper. One for mind rest, one for body rest. And it might help if you try to do something you've never done before, something that you might feel like it's not going to work anyway, or hey, I'm too scared to do that because I've never done that. Just try and see what comes out of it, because oftentimes we have a mindset of I don't know it, so I fear it, or I don't know it, so I cannot do it. But you might surprise yourself. Just try it, see what comes out of it, and hey, maybe you find something new that helps you better than anything has ever worked for you before. So, small doses of real rest are more powerful than long periods of distraction. We all want to watch the whole evening TV after a long day of work, but that doesn't mean that it relaxes you or makes you feel mentally rested. So try to find things that mentally rest you as well, even though it's just 1 or 2 minutes a couple times throughout the day. Your mind isn't broken because it struggles to rest. It's just tired for holding too much for too long, which means that we all find those distractions and we think we're resting, but when we're actually resting, our minds get flooded. So try to work on resting your mind as well as your body. And thank you for joining me here. I'm still working on getting comfortable in front of a camera, so bear with me, okay? I might mess up here and there, but this is me getting out of my comfort zone and trying to teach you some valuable lessons. I hope these are valuable to you because they are to me. I wish you a very, very good day. Um, and hopefully, part of my lessons will help you get through the holidays if they're stressful or scary or difficult or however it feels to you. So, thank you a lot again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.